Hello and welcome to CarPervert. I'm Jonny Smith. Today this is a bit of a different one. This is a vlog where I'm seeing some mass car grave. If you've watched the channel before, you know that sometimes I enjoy a bit of a barn find or a bit of car dereliction. This is a huge car grave, and I'm actually doing this kind of urban exploring episode after getting in contact with a chap who has his own YouTube channel who does strictly Urban X, and he's a bit of a car fan, and he's called the Bearded Explorer, and he's behind me there. There he is. This is Cole, and now you, the Bearded Explorer, you do all kinds of Urban X, don't you? I've seen you go into abandoned asylums, which are quite creepy, hospitals. But you are a bit of a car fanatic. Massive. Which is how I stumbled across your channel, because I saw you finding some rare classics buried and left for dead, and I thought, I know, even when you know that the cars can't be rescued, I still think they're brilliant to watch. So that's why I got in contact with the Bearded Explorer, and if you haven't seen his YouTube channel, I would have a look at it, because it's fantastic. Way better film than mine, if I'm honest. It's a bit of a shame, but anyway. But we're going today to a place where there's over 300, we think, classic cars, some of which are incredibly rare. It's going to be the hottest day of the year. Apparently Glastonbury was due to start today, but who needs Glastonbury when you've got an open grave of huge classic cars?
Some very, very rare ones as well.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So come follow us. And anyway, I was told to wear trousers today because Bearded Explorer said, listen, there's going to be lots of stinging nettles and thorns. So he's turned up in shorts. Yeah. Doesn't even practice what he preaches. God. Found a small herd of Range Rovers.
That's quite a rare freedom there as well.
That is. That is, with your vertical slat grille. It's like spotting wildlife, isn't it?
It actually is.
Can you see up there? Look at this. Mark II Capri just hanging out of a stag. If you wanted a sort of single image that summed up 2020, it's probably this. A Ford Probe that's been buried and caved in with a caravan thrown on the roof. That's 2020 right there. So, Bearded Explorer.
Yes.
I'm an Urban X novice. I mean, I used to enjoy snooping around places when I was younger, and I do like seeing the kind of lesser visited places. There are some unwritten rules of Urban X.
Yes, there are three main rules that we have to follow. We cannot break in, we cannot steal anything. Basically, you cannot cause any damage at all. So as long as we follow those three rules, then we're safe, you know.
So you're just documenting what you see?
Yes, basically that.
And being respectful to the surroundings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take only a bit of photographs, leave only a bit of footprints.
Oh.
That's a famous rule.
Oh, I like that. Let's do that. Okay, well we've got in. I've got stung a lot, and I'm the one with the trousers on. And we are going to make our way up into where you can see the roofs of the cars and things. Obviously, because it's the height of summer, there's a lot of stinging nettles, and I'm just going to try and kind of capture as many of the cars as I possibly can with the time and the resources that we have. This is where nature has most definitely taken over the car world. And this is probably the first classic I've come up close with, which I think is a Morris Oxford or an Austin Cambridge. Yeah, and the first thing I think of is if this was a scrapyard owned by people that were interested in banger racing, that would have gone around the banger track a long time ago, because they're excellent banger cars apparently. And this is a very old Mini. Very old Mini, and there's the VIN. So, and that's is that a, yeah, it's a Traveller. No, is it? No, not the Traveller. What is it? The, yeah, Mini Traveller, because you've got the Countryman and the...
That's right, the Countryman was the one with the wood.
That's right, yeah. I'd say that's quite rotten given it doesn't actually have a floor. The gear stick's just hovering. Wow. And then behind it, is that a Morris Marina van?
It's a Morris Marina van, yeah.
It's British Gas. I reckon that's British Gas, you know.
What would that be from?
Late 70s?
Yeah, I was going to say 70s.
I reckon late 70s.
Amazing.
It's so silent here, it's
Yeah,
actually quite
is.
tranquil.
Yeah.
Look at this, I don't know what it is. I think it's a Morris or an Austin. Morris 10, but the engine's still in it with the fan belt on. And it's just caved in. The roof's just caved in and it's just returned to earth. Look, that window's fallen in there. There's a Triumph Herald, look. It's very rotten. It's been there a very long time, and then sitting on top of it is an Austin 1100. Two-door. Yeah, 2CV. Doesn't actually look that bad for a 2CV. There's a Citroen C15, Jeep Cherokee XJ. Is that a Chevy truck? I thought that's a Chevy. It's a bit unusual in the UK. Sherpa. They used to be everywhere in the 80s. Look. Lada Niva. I can't get to it. I do not know what that is in there, but I think that's a Ford Granada Mark II. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's a Cortina. It's a Cortina estate. Again, a car that gets regularly bang raced. Normally not seen in a scrapyard much at all. It's all here. That manual. It's got wood, so it must be a quite high spec. Must have been a reasonably good spec car, I think. Headrests. I don't know what it is, but that's a banger car from a very long time ago. I can't quite make out what it is. Hang on, it's a Ford. Is that a Cortina? Is that a Mark 1 Cortina? So when was the last time you saw a Mark 1 Cortina built? As we go down here, there's a speedboat. Speedboat. And then just on the horizon you can see a Cavalier. And then a Mini on top of a LDV of some sort. Sharp thing.
See those Johnny as well.
Oh, is that Minis?
Yeah.
Gosh. I mean, I haven't seen a Mark II Cav for a while. It's my favourite Cavalier. But look at these Minis. Hang on, that's not a Mini. That's a Rover P5.
Is it?
I noticed there's a Rover P5 Coupe. You can tell by the roof line.
That's a Mini there, that red.
That's a Mini. I don't know what that is.
Is that an MG?
It's not been out in a while. Are you going to get any Audi shorts on? Yeah. Drag wheel maybe. That is a BMW or a Carlton, an early Carlton. I think that could be a BMW. You're really testing me today. This place is amazing. You think you find something and then you trip over another thing, like a 735i BMW with sweet Pioneer speakers on the parcel shelf. and then the P100 Ford pickup, and then Mark II Cavalier, and then name another vehicle. We've probably got it within spitting distance here. That is a very dead transit van with some kind of sign writing. Used to be yellow and then it got painted red. Oh. Is this a Hilux? What do I see before me? Is this a Hilux that's actually dead? No.
It says on the back, hit me, I need the money.
My gosh, it does. Hit me, I need the money. Something hit him, because it's kind of folded in half. There's like an old taxi. Rover 75 taxi. Private hire by Oxford City Council. Sexy scrap. And look, just over there, Volvo. Volvo 740. And another Mini, I can see the remains of another Mini. This is when I suffer for my art, right? Because the bearded explorer says that a very special car lies beyond this point. Although I can't see it. There's the roof of it. Can you see that? Right. Guess is on a postcard. My gosh. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Jensen Interceptor that's just left in the weeds to die. What an incredible classic.
But the door has actually like split in two.
Oh, the inner and outer skin.
Yeah, has come away.
This is a girder that seems to be hanging out of the engine bay. I don't really know why. Someone's on a bit of a fight with it.
Yeah.
There's a glass back window.
Yeah, the glass back window.
The goldfish bowl back window is still in it.
Yeah.
They're worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Wow.
Look at that. That is just pure artwork in there.
Here's inside the Jensen. The door is a little flappy, and I don't want it to fall off in my. I'm going to poke the camera, and you can see the dash is still there. The steering wheel's still on. The centre console's open. There's a few bits and bobs on the back seat. In fact, I think that's the air cleaner. There's still loads of trim on it. Loads of trim on it. Oh, hang on, there's the badge, yeah, look. Is that the badge, or is that the airbag? I can't remember. I think it used to say something on there. Yeah, stunning find, that is. Stunning find. I can't quite believe that this has been found, but this is a Jensen Interceptor that seems to be complete, albeit it's returning to earth. I mean, it's partially buried. There's a number plate on the back there.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that last time.
Let's get a shot of this. Poor Jensen, VGU 46G. VGU 46G. I'm going to try and go around to the driver's side.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to probably need a tetanus jab after this. Oh man, these are vicious brambles. No, this is the thing, all the cars we seem to be discovering are pretty complete, which is sort of even worse than. So it's got the centre console open. I'm trying to see if it's got an engine in it. There's like a piece of metal over it. I think there's bits of an engine in it. It's all very mossy. It's got no, oh hang on, yeah, it's got no back axle. Yeah, it's got no back axle. It's been robbed of its axle.
So maybe it was like a spare car or something.
I think it was a donor.
Yeah.
But the fact they haven't taken the back window. That's weird. Sad. This, so that's the Jensen Interceptor that we've just been fiddling around with, but this is a 110 commercial Defender. Again, complete and just sat here with the windows down, waiting to die. It's very, very odd because it doesn't look that bad. And it would be a car you could easily sell today. Yeah, it's still, I'm trying to get inside. It's missing a door. Now I think it's a K-Reg, so it's 92.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not that old. Well, we've enjoyed finding that Jensen Interceptor. That's a hell of a find. We're now going to try and get stung a bit more, and we're going to go further up where the bearded explorer assures me there's quite a few more cars, about 250. So hopefully the batteries in the camera will last, and we'll be able to capture as much as possible. A lot of these cars are still complete. A lot of the commercials, some of them have been here for a long time. Look at this, this is brilliant. It's obviously an old truck, which has returned to earth. That used to be the steering wheel. And then there's a bird's nest in there. We're in the undergrowth now, just to get out the sun for a bit. And you still find stuff like this beautiful old truck with a double back window. It seems to be having a fight with a tree and losing. Probably a fight that's lasted.
Hey, look at this. That tree's grown up through the centre of that wheel there.
Oh yeah!
I love things like this. Look how tall that tree is.
Look at this. Bedford commercial truck. Been here for such a long time. Engine's still in it. I can see that. Still, it's got some sign writing on it. Renault 5. They used to be everywhere, and now they're nowhere. And you can see in the woods, as far as the eye can see, there's just stuff dotted. In fact, look, what's this? Harry Potter Ford Anglia. Look, just in the weeds. Yeah, 1965. So we're getting a bit more modern. Or are we? There's a sort of Humber Sceptre or a Son of Vogue. And oh look, the lesser spotted Marina. Yeah, Morris Marina. Right there. Wow. Another Land Rover, look. I think this is a Humber Sceptre. Yeah, it is a Humber Sceptre. The front has completely rotted off this marina along the scuttle. You see, how strange. That's biblical rot, isn't it? Very rare Morris Marina suicide front door conversion, as done by nature. And beyond the Land Rover, you've got, oh, a lovely little pickup. Is that a Toyota Hiace? Late 70s, early 80s? I'm going to try and get to that. Yes, it's a Hiace. My gosh, and I just walked past this one. What's that? Is that an old Peugeot or is it Simca? Peugeot. Yeah, Peugeot. Still got the engine in. Yeah, with the sunroof. Oh, look at the sunroof. Wow. Look at the sunroof. Maybe had a little bit too much sun, and maybe every other element. This is a bloody airport. Is it a little airport tractor?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those little tugs. Returning to Earth. Okay, I've just managed to crawl between here. I think that's another Austin, Westminster or something. The doors have fallen off them. You can see the aluminium door body panels of the Rover 105. Beautiful thing. Suicide back doors, can you see? Suicide back doors. Complete. Complete. And this is an MG BGT. Still wearing the Ross styles. I mean, there's stuff like this as well. Road rollers in a wood. This place is just spectacular, honestly. I feel like the David Attenborough of sexy scrapyards. What's that? That's a Trump Spitfire over there. Oh, looky here, looky here. Another mini, what's that, a mini clubman or a mini estate?
Mini estate.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so rotten.
It's Mark 1 as well.
Let's have a look. And the other one was very early, wasn't it? Wow.
It's got the old external door hinges in it.
Oh yeah, and the big old door pockets.
Yeah.
Gosh. How long has that been in here? How long has it been in here? This early Mini seemingly still has. Still got its A series in there. There's still an A series engine in there. And you know the doors have still got the catches on. Wow. It's basically like all the way I see this place is there's loads of cars which would have never stayed in a scrapyard long because of their popularity in banger racing. Like that Rover, there's a Cortina estate.
Yeah.
They're like prime banger racing fodder. They would have never sat here.
No.
And then there's collectible stuff like early Minis, miners, split window miners that would have not stayed in a. They would have been parts cars for loads of people. So that's what I don't understand about why this place is the way it is. But I gotta say, man, it's
a pretty good one, isn't it?
Well, I have to thank you for finding it because it's incredible. And there, that Golf GTI, my least favourite GTI. So obviously, when you get to the Golf GTI Mark III, you turn right, and you'll find another Harry Potter Anglia. Something which I can't quite work out in here. It looks 50s. This looks 50s. And through bushes. Ow! Ow! Thorns. Oh, and then you get to an Austin Maxi. And then you get to another Mini. And then you get to a Maestro. VW 412. That's a VW 412. If you've heard of the VW K70, which came out before the Golf and wasn't very popular when they were trying to replace the Beetle, this was one of those cars where they brought out to maybe replace the Beetle with, that nobody really cared about.
That is incredible. That's great. Look at the weeds growing inside it.
Oh my gosh, Vauxhall City. Can you see this is the Rover with lots of aluminium panels? What on earth is going on? A tree in a tree. Oh my gosh. What is this? I think this is a Cortina. I think this is a Cortina estate. Is this a Cortina estate? I think it is. Again, just left. Look at that. Look at that. Super indeed. '65. Wow. Cortina estate model. So I wondered what I'd tripped over. I've tripped over a V8, yeah, as you do. An aluminium V8, it's probably a Rover, can't tell right now. Probably has some markings on it. So I tripped over a V8 because I'm looking at that, which just looks like a comedy clown car. I think that's an Austin A35.
It looks as if it's maybe been picked up and it's just broken in half.
Yeah, I mean it's like weird modern art, isn't it? I think it's impossible to do this location in one day properly. Because it's so hard. It's too hard to navigate as well. Hang on a minute, is that an Austin Allegro? Yeah, it's an Austin Allegro behind you.
It is an Allegro.
That is an Agro.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Oh, my guilty pleasure car. I don't know why we're... That's a two... Is that a two-door?
It is a two-door.
It's seriously quite rare. I've got one. I've got one. My word. Since I started this YouTube channel, which is weird. I don't know why I'm getting more turned on, because that's actually a split windscreen Morris Minor.
Oh my goodness, it is.
So it's quite an early one. Look at the front grille, and the split windscreen makes that quite an early car. Yeah, and again it looks complete.
It does.
Freaky. Oh my word.
Something else.
Yeah. There's a Ford Sierra, maybe, hubcap on the seat, and also the front bumper. And I'm attached to a bramble. Yeah, another Mark II Fiesta. Another, oh look, it's a van. Is that an Austin E35 van? Is that another split window Morris Minor? There's another Morris Minor anyway.
Another split screen model. That's the second one we found here. And it's got nice little flowers growing up in the dash area.
It would be rude for us to walk past this. I knew it was a Suzuki, but it's actually, I'll try and get it all in shot, it's actually a Suzuki Swift convertible, 5-speed, obviously, with what looks like a nest in its boot, no hood to speak of.
I'll tell you what, those back seats look like it would have been a nice place to be in the summer. The wind blowing through your hair.
When was the last time you saw?
I know.
What ridge is it? Can I just
G
check?
ridge.
Is it?
Yeah.
84? 84, 90.
What, 35 years old?
Yeah. I mean, it's a proper 80s. These sorts of cars did not survive very well. We've just walked up a little way and we've come across this. And I'm actually struggling to ID it. It's had all the badges removed, and you can see the bearded explorer here. Look, he's noticed that the B pillar has fallen off completely, and it's got the old trafficator instead of indicators. It's a British car. I think it's either a big old Austin or maybe a Daimler. There's no badge on the boot lid, but if I show you, I don't want to.
It's got suicide doors at the front. 100%,
Has it?
Yeah.
Suicide front doors. There used to be something here, badge here, and there's some nice detail on the boot handle. The remains of a number plate. But I really don't know what it is. I'm going to go around the front and give you a quick front shot. And here's the front. I thought it was like a Mark 7, Mark 8 Jaguar, but I don't think it is. If you think you know what it is, let me know. Well, clearly the in-betweeners have been here. And part there. The Chica into actually theirs wasn't a sporting.
They weren't that good.
No, they couldn't afford the insurance. We're going to go through this area here. I think this is the start of some Capris. I can just see a Capri back window, that lovely kind of half oval. And gosh, it's hot today.
Yeah, it's really hot.
The flies are loving us.
Capri.
That is a Capri. Yeah.
Is that an Anglia?
That is an Anglia. That's the second one. There was one back there. That's proper Harry Potter spec.
Look at that tree growing out through it as well. Look.
Oh my gosh. out through the, is that the part of the engine? Oh my gosh, yeah. Can you see that?
This is basically strut, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, that is the strut. It's actually just slowly torn it off the car. Oh my gosh. Well, it looks something like that. It's in a mangle of other commercial vehicle bits. Nice gold sunroof Mark III.
Twin headlights.
Mark III. Look at the moss inside it. Oh my word! Litching on the steering wheel. It did have a vinyl roof. There's loads of these containers just full of scrunched up classics, and what's weird is that the metal's never been processed. It's just sort of left. Didn't even realise behind us on this old truck trailer is a Morris Minor van, I think. It's upside down. Volvo 480. They were really growing on me. I remember they looked very modern. Another Austin 1100, Morris 1100. Graveyard of cabs. Look at what I found. Mercedes W123. Never had a saloon, had a coupe and 2 estates. Great cars. Looks complete again. Oh, I do like a 123. It's the second Herald of the day. And it doesn't look that bad actually. And we've got another lesser spotted Ford probe. There's more in here than I've seen in a year. Oh my word. Wow. Struth, that's a whole car. It was fully collapsed. It's quite tranquil. I think I've seen a Capri. Nice Capri garden. Was that a Rover? 400, 200? Put the decals. Might be a 2 litre S. 3 litre S maybe. Okay, well. Oh, you know when you get a sweat in your eyes and it makes them sting?
Yeah.
It's one of those days. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing, and that is a sample of what's there. Unfortunately, the overgrowth and the jagged metal everywhere, and the combination of that and the heat, I couldn't get round it all. I couldn't get round every car in a day. So what I would say is, we're either going to come back here again, or go to the Bearded Explorers YouTube channel, because the Bearded Explorer does a lot more Urban X than I do. But if you've enjoyed Urban X on CarPervert, you know, vehicle centric Urban X, let me know, and I'm sure we can find some more rare vintage dereliction for you again. But if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you're a Patreon, thank you very much for being a Patreon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a link somewhere in the ether above my head or below my head. Cheers.